somebody from the Ravens told me that they didn't lobby for this whole weird coin flip thing because it just felt like a backroom deal that the Ravens really pushed for. Well, if we beat the Bengals on Sunday, we will have swept them, even though they have a higher winning percentage and they've won the division. We shouldn't have to go back there. We should come up with some other way. Okay, let's do a coin flip to see who gets the home game. How ridiculous is that in hindsight and in foresight and in any sight? And what was explained to me is the league just wanted a way to make that game relevant, and that made that game relevant. Hinging home field advantage for a wild card rematch on a coin flip made that game relevant until we saw the list of inactive players for the Ravens, and then we knew what was going to happen. As I said yesterday, the Ravens won the toss, and they opted to defer. The Bengals get the victory, 27-16. It should have been even more than that, and it sets the stage for a rematch next week, which could go differently because the Ravens will have more of their best players presumably available to play, Miles.
Yeah, but we don't know if they're going to have the most important player that, is on that team, and that's Lamar Jackson. And if we don't know if Lamar Jackson, A, is going to be healthy, or B, if even Tyler Huntley is going to be good enough, to play. I mean, how real competitive is that game going to be? Now, look, it's a program thing, and if anybody can get his team ready to go, I believe it's John Harbaugh. But at the same time, the Bengals are kind of a juggernaut right now. And the only thing that concerns me about the Bengals is that two of their starting offensive linemen, Lael Collins and Alex Kappa, are now on the shelf. And that does not help them. And it could be something that does affect the way the Bengals end up performing in the postseason. But I mean, I don't really know what to expect from the Ravens right now because it seems like they don't know if even Lamar Jackson is going to be available.
They have no idea. And I'm sensing almost a level of exasperation over just the circumstance, not with Lamar, but just at the whole situation. Nobody knows when he's going to come back. I think it would be naive to assume the contract isn't caught up in this because if he's got full financial security, maybe he's inclined to go give it a try, right? But until you've got your contract, why would you put yourself at risk if you're not fully 100%? And then if you are 100%, why would you put yourself at risk? Because the future is coming quickly and some decisions need to be made. It's just a weird, awkward situation for the Baltimore Ravens. And that's why I just kind of keep an eye on John Harbaugh because there was a time a couple of years ago where it felt like maybe it was just time. And we saw what happened with Sean Payton last year. It was just time. Any of these guys that have been in the same job for 15 years or longer in the NFL with the same team over and over and over again, after 15 years, I just, as a general rule, thanks to Sean Payton, I'm just going to keep an eye on whether or not one or both sides decides it's time. And it quite possibly may be time for John Harbaugh to move on. Not because they would want him to, but just from his perspective. It may be time to move on, and it'll be interesting to see. Something I said yesterday, and I don't want to get too far off course from the games. I was talking to somebody yesterday about the Broncos getting permission to interview Sean Payton for their head coaching vacancy, and obviously the Broncos would have to compensate the Saints. If you're the Broncos, why not call the Ravens? Why not call the Patriots? Why not call the Steelers? Any place where a coach has been there for a long time and maybe the time has come for a parting. If you're going to give up a first-round pick for Sean Payton, why not see who else is out there that you could maybe get for similar compensation?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly would be something that they should explore and maybe examine. I don't know that I kind of get that same vibe as, it's worth monitoring, I guess. But if you're talking about Harbaugh and, potentially moving on, I still feel like that guy is very energized. And, when I watch the Ravens and when I pay attention to the Ravens over the course of the week, it just seems like he still knows that he can coach ball, and so I will see, obviously, but there's a lot to think about with the Ravens in this coming week, starting with Lamar Jackson.
If they move on from Lamar Jackson after the year, it just creates a situation where you've got to do major surgery on the roster. And
oh yeah,
I still see Harbaugh coaching, but there just could be another opportunity out there where he could add to his resume. And every coach who has won a Super Bowl is very aware of the fact that no one has won a Super Bowl with two different teams. Before we move on from this game, though, the Joe Mixon touchdown and the celebration that was recommended him by Chad Ochocinco, the removal of a coin foreign object. He will be fined for this, and he knows he's going to be fined. This is the equivalent of Joe Horn with the cell phone. This is T.O. with the Sharpie in his sock that he pulled out to autograph a football. There's the coin. He flips the coin to express the collective disdain the Bengals have for how they were treated last week by these arbitrary, make-it-up-as-you-go rulings by the NFL. It will be inexpensive. It will cost plenty of coins for Joe Mixon, but he knew it. He knew it. He's smart enough to know it. He accepts it. You can celebrate. You just can't bring in foreign objects, and the No Fun League will attack unless the No Fun League decides they don't want to make a story out of it and have people like us talking about it.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.